Hello everyone, I am Dr. Sindhu. I'm a specialist obstetrics and gynecology. Today I'm going to discuss about polycystic ovaries and what are the steps you can take to cure or maybe for a transient period of time to overcome the symptoms related to polycystic ovaries. Let's begin with it. So polycystic ovaries is, to brief you about, I hope this picture looks like uterus. Yeah, this is your uterus, this is your ovaries, and these are your fallopian tubes. Yeah. So in normally, okay, in normal ovaries, ovary is nothing but it is filled with many follicles. Yeah, follicles are nothing but immature eggs which are ready to be matured and getting released every month. So every month one follicle from this ovary will grow. Yeah, when this follicle is trying to grow, all the rest of the follicles will help that follicle to grow and reach a big size. That means to become a dominant follicle in this pool of small follicles. So this dominant follicle will at the ovulation will release the egg. When it is releasing the egg, the fallopian tube will catch the egg and it will be traveling here. Yeah. So when there is any conception happening, if there is any sperms, the sperms have to travel all the way here and make this egg fertilized, and fertilized egg will move and get pregnant. You will get your pregnancy in this part of the uterus. That is how it happens when you get pregnant. So otherwise, if there is no intercourse and anything, if there is no sperms available, so the egg will get released and it will die. Once it dies, so the endometrium, which is being getting prepared for itself to get pregnant, will shed. Yeah, that is how you get your periods. So this is what happens every month in the woman's menstrual cycle. So when it comes to polycystic ovaries, what happens is, so these follicles which are in this size, they will be slightly bigger in size. Yeah. So when they are in this size, what happens? So they won't let this dominant follicle to grow. Yeah, this won't happen. When this doesn't happen, so there won't be any release of eggs, no periods, and no pregnancy also. So this is what exactly a typical polycystic ovaries should look like and should present with. Typical polycystic ovary people will not have periods for months together, and if they get periods also, it will be very irregular and it will be for a prolonged duration of time. So the reason behind this is there is no ovulation which is happening inside the ovaries. That means there is no ovulation happening. So no ovulation means your periods are irregular, and there is, for you to get conceived, it will be difficult. Yeah, so this is what polycystic ovaries looks like. So how common is polycystic ovaries? Polycystic ovaries is very common nowadays. 1 in every 10 women are affected by it. Amongst them, 20 to 30% of the people are unaware of the fact that they have polycystic ovaries. So if you have people who have regular cycles also can have very milder form of polycystic ovaries. For you to have irregular cycles, excessive weight gain, the pigmentation, the acne, hair loss and everything, so you should have a full-blown polycystic ovaries. That means it should be an extreme case of polycystic ovaries. So that extreme cases are there, but their percentage is very less. Why the polycystic ovaries have been increased nowadays is because of the lifestyle, no physical activity, and the food we eat. Yeah, so these two things play a major role in any person who has had polycystic ovaries. So I'm just going to give you a few steps. Okay, so when you go meet the doctor is going to do few tests, and they are going to do series of run few tests, and they're going to do some ultrasound examinations and everything to to find out, to diagnose what exactly is causing. Because polycystic ovaries is not a primary condition. That means it might not be the disease of the ovaries to begin with. It might be due to the secondary of other things. Okay, if you are insulin resistant, if you are pre-diabetic, or if you're already having insulin resistance, so that can present as polycystic ovaries. And if you are obese, that can cause to polycystic ovaries. If you have hypo or hyperthyroidism, can cause polycystic ovaries. So just to know the reasons behind it, you'll have to run few tests. But 50 to 60% of the times will not know what is the reason for this. Okay, so that is a huge percentage. That means 50 to 60% of the times will not know what is causing this polycystic ovaries, and 50 to 60% of the people can cure or can get rid of PCOS symptoms by taking few lifestyle modification steps. So to let me make one thing very clear, there is no permanent cure for polycystic ovaries. That means nobody can claim that they had polycystic ovaries and now it is completely gone. If it is a milder version, yes, there might be some cure, but there is no guaranteed cure for polycystic ovaries. So it's all about what we are doing at that particular point of time. That means whether how we are managing the symptoms, how we are trying to regularize your cycles, and we are trying to, if you are suffering with infertility or something like that, how we are trying to make the eggs release the egg, and all those things. So those are the complicated things. You don't have to worry about it. So I'm just going to concentrate on this 50 to 60% of the population who can actually overcome the symptoms by doing some lifestyle modifications. So let me go step by step. First and foremost is exercise. Yeah, you should go do a vigorous exercise. That means you should go out and get yourself drenched in sweat. That is how a workout should look like. You should burn more calories. Your heart rate should go, means you should do a cardio exercise. Cardio is nothing but you're increasing your heart rate to 140 to 150 beats per minute, yeah, for at least 40 to 50 minutes every day for 5 days a week. That is a minimal requirement of exercise. So you can't just go for a leisurely walk in the evening and say I'm going out for a walk. That is now going for a simple leisurely walk is not going to do any benefit. Okay, so make sure you are increasing your heart rate and make sure you're sweating a lot. Do some real exercise. Okay, I mean to say, this is a real exercise. So if you are overweight, if your BMI is more than 25, if you are overweight, you should lose your weight. You should bring down your body weight to your proper BMI. Your BMI should be less than 25. Okay, so that you can achieve only by doing the exercise and modifying your diet. So first and foremost, cut down on sugar intake. Avoid oily and deep fried items. Yeah? Oily deep fried items will cause an inflammatory response in your body. So this inflammation can hinder your chances of fertility, and it might increase your polycystic ovarian syndrome symptoms as well. Okay, no deep fried items, no oily items, and no refined carbohydrates. Refined carbohydrates or simple carbohydrates are which are heavily processed, like these white breads, the cookies and the biscuits, the cakes, the pastries. So all this will include the refined carbohydrate stuff. And next is you should eat these things. You should eat egg whites, and you should eat lean proteins, and try and involve avocados, beans, and broccolis, cauliflowers, and all these things in your diet. So these are all these are all the foods which are very good for polycystic ovaries. So broccolis, cauliflowers, tomatoes, and cabbages. So these are all the very good foods for your PCOS. And drink plenty of water. And what you can do, you should people who have PCOS can consume large breakfast and can cut short on their dinner time. Yeah, there are many studies which has shown that people who have large breakfast and lesser dinners have got benefited from polycystic ovaries. So I guess these are the things and consume healthy fats, like which are very rich in omega-3 fatty acids, like almonds, walnuts, olive oils. So include all these things in your diet, and drink plenty of water. Take folic acid and vitamin D supplements, and if your doctor is prescribing any supplements or any treatments for polycystic ovaries, don't forget to take that. So it should be complementary to each other, the food you take and the medicines you're taking. So I guess if you're doing this category of people who don't have any underlying condition which is the reason for their polycystic ovaries can get benefited out of it. So as I told you many times, there is no permanent cure for polycystic ovaries. It's about what's your need. Is your need to regularize your menstrual cycle, or is your need to get pregnant if you're suffering from infertility? So polycystic ovaries on a long term can have negative impacts on your life. It can increase your chances of heart diseases and stroke. It can increase your chances of endometrial cancer. and it can increase your chances of infertility and obesity and type 2 diabetes as well. So polycystic ovaries, on a long run, if you have been suffering from it throughout your life, you should get yourself frequently checked, yeah, about all these conditions, whatever I told you, because these and all are the conditions where polycystic ovaries people can be at risk of. So I guess that's about your polycystic ovaries and what you can do at home to get treated for it. So when you are having severe symptoms of it, let your doctor worry about it, so they'll be able to help you out. So if you have any comments or any questions regarding your polycystic ovaries, you can always comment me below. I'll be more than happy to clarify your doubts. Then I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, drink plenty of water and stay healthy. Bye bye.